the juxtaposition of modern materials like galvanised steel ducting with the structure of the old, like these cast-iron pillars, gives the building a knowing urban quality. Step outside and you can walk to old shops which have been converted into trendy bars and cafes. Manchester's commercial heritage has been transformed into a focal point for its recent cultural renaissance. Back at the Trafford Centre, this aspect of city life is also in evidence. Dozens of themed restaurants sell versions of food from all over the world. Culture is also beamed in from cities all over the world in the form of pop videos and projected onto this larger-than-life video screen. So for the moment, until they develop a culture of their own, visitors to the Mall can enjoy edited clips of other people's city experiences. A safe sort of activity, just like the shopping. Like the Smithfield building, the Quay Bar was also designed by Stephenson Bell. It's an inland waterways miniature version of the Dilawar Pavilion, situated in the rejuvenated canal-side industrial area of Manchester. Here in the real city, old and new are juxtaposed in daring and interesting ways, which gives a sense of historical context and continuity. Manchester's 18th and 19th century industrial canals and railway bridges collide with today's thriving club and bar scene to create a vibrant architectural setting. This dramatic curved bridge, designed by Whitby and Bird in 1996, introduces a sweeping, dynamic curve from one side of the bridge to the other. Bars, cafes and restaurants have been developed around the canal, a particularly Mancunian renaissance in nightlife architecture. The style of this bar, mash and air, toned in lurid orange and lime green, looks like something from the spaced-out space age of the 1960s whacked into some old building. But the large portholes behind the bar open onto stainless steel cylinders, which are part of a microbrewery. The beer drunk in the bar is actually made here. As in other parts of the city, production and consumption take place in the same building. But in the war between urbia and suburbia, good architecture has become a weapon of both sides. Realising that well-designed buildings can attract the public into them, some suburban buildings have, metaphorically, started to sprout wings. It's impossible to miss this one, on the outskirts of Plymouth as you drive down towards the town on the elevated section of the A38. Designed by Dixon Jones, the architectural idea is quite simple. It's a canopy and facade which fronts an otherwise fairly conventional supermarket. The canopy is made from a series of sail-like shapes which appear to twist when viewed from a passing car. The light screen below is made of perforated aluminium cladding panels. New materials and new architectural ideas that have transformed an otherwise architecturally neutral shopping experience. Who wants the hassle of the city when shopping here is so simple and elegant? The suburbs, having been commuter satellites of city centres, are now usurping city centre functions to keep people permanently suburban. Like malls, there are also offices, especially designed to ensure you have no need of the facilities offered by the city. Indeed, this building recreates a slice of the city right out here in the suburbs. Entering this doorway isn't quite like arriving at a conventional building. It has a strange Alice in Wonderland quality to it, of who knows what might be inside. It's actually the new British Airways headquarters called Waterside, next to Heathrow on the outskirts of London, completed in 1997. 2,800 staff from 14 different city or suburban locations have been moved here. Designed by Norwegian architects Niels Torp, they've been brought together in a sort of modern self-contained working town, set out complete with cobbled street under a vast atrium. On this street, staff can take advantage of their own banks, cafes, restaurants, shops, florists, hairdressers, newsagents, travel and fitness centres. It's an entirely new kind of workplace. 6 different office blocks are connected by the street. These are all open plan and utilise the latest hot desking ideas, where employees can use intelligent mobile phones and laptop computers to work anywhere in the building. But this is more than a building. It's a total environment, trying to recreate the textured life of the city. It's the working version of the shopping mall, and like the mall, it's very seductive, very appealing for a while, but gradually the sense of being a prisoner in what is essentially a corporate headquarters starts to take hold. And you really get to miss the buzz of the real city. And you might expect to find that buzz here. This landmark slice of downtown Chicago sailed into London with all the razzmatazz of the arrival of a Fellini-esque cruise ship. Canary Wharf has city looks and almost city location. Phenomenally big, smooth, slick and immaculately municipal, the look is corporate America. Whereas at the Channel 4 building lifts visibly go up and down on the outside, the lifts here are revered inside the steely grey temple to corporate life. This triple-height lobby is a sort of marble-clad cathedral built to worship the lifts, of which there are dozens to whisk office workers at high speed to the upper floors. No buzz here, just the revered hush of big money being made in an atmosphere of sterile security. Canary Wharf is indeed a splendid-looking slice of supercity. Like Hampstead Garden Suburb, it is only made possible by the train and tube links back to the centre. If Hampstead Garden Suburb was the first of the 20th century suburbs, then Canary Wharf was the last. Canary Wharf has all the ingredients: offices, shops and residential. So good a clone of the city that it almost got us fooled, but the American accent is just too perfect. It's really a suburb on steroids. Talking of steroids, Number 1 Poultry is the sumo wrestler of the real city, taking its energy and converting it into a built form to make a kind of pagan palace of work. It's a masterpiece of postmodernism by British architect James Stirling, built in 1998. The building sits on a tube entrance, so that from the top one can look down on this multifaceted light well to watch passengers dart about on their way through the labyrinth of the city to offices of their own. Having layers of shops at street level and a fashionable restaurant on the roof puts the offices into a mixed-use sandwich that is the essence of a real city. It's as if the eclectic range of styles that make up Number 1 Poultry have been drawn out of the city that surrounds it. On the roof, a parterre garden brings an outlandish whiff of suburbia perched here high above the city. In this building, we find the strong geometrical forms of modernism, but more playfully used. Ideologies of truth materials are no longer relevant. It doesn't matter whether the gorgeous stone holds the building up or not. We don't care anymore, as it looks fantastic. The straitjacket of modernism has been left behind, and the architect has brilliantly raided history to produce a truly original building. Like modernism, postmodernism also has the intention of removing hierarchies between buildings. Whereas modernism said all buildings, whether homes or leisure pavilions, should be flat-roofed and white, postmodernism says you can have anything you want. Even these glazed blocks, primary coloured window frames and what looks like the upturned deck of a yacht. This celebratory building marks the death of ideology and is enormously liberating. architects are finally free to build anything they want. High above the streets of St John's Wood in North London, this futuristic module floats like a UFO sighting. Completed in 1999, the media centre was designed to accommodate the world's television, press and radio personnel to report and commentate on games of cricket here at Lord's Cricket Ground. The structure is an aluminium monocoque form, the same process used to build large ocean-going yachts, coated in layers of resin to give it a smooth, high-gloss finish. It's a construction process never used in a building before. The architects, Future Systems, are a company that specialise in designing with materials more commonly found in the mass production industries like the motor car. And you are more likely to come across neoprene and curves than concrete and right angles. The windows, doorways and stairways display curvaceous nautical themes, appropriate for a building that was actually made in a shipyard. The 20th century has been 100 years of apparent contradictions. The brand new suburbs based on medievalism. Concrete buildings made of steel. Concrete that looked like wood. High-tech inspired by Victorian engineering. An office block celebrating contradiction. But this appears to be the ultimate one. A modern, cutting-edge building at the home of those bastions of tradition, Lord's. In an apparent contrast to the original 1890 stand, Lord's have built two further stands, designed by contemporary, high-profile architects. To the one side of the old pavilion is Michael Hopkins' stand, which looks like a festival tent. On the other is Nick Grimshaw's stand, which looks like a cutaway section of an ocean liner. Between them both is the media centre, which looks down on the ground like the giant lens of a camera. A cricket ground might be the essence of suburbia, but by making Lord's a showcase of cutting-edge architecture, they have ensured that it remains as central to the mixed life of the city as a Roman Colosseum. The message, like the media centre, is bold and clear. The British seem to have come around to exciting new buildings. As they become more ambitious, more daring and revolutionary in their ideas and use of materials, the contest between the city and suburb will become increasingly spectacular. Just as the brilliant white Roman triumphal arch first lit up Britain's greenish-grey landscape, the media centre sends out a message of confidence in the future. Let's hope our cricketers will go out and conquer the world. And if they can't, British architects certainly have and will.